The middle schoolers got a special treat this year as a few of the University of Mary basketball players came down to show off a few of their moves. It's one thing to get used to the culture and lifestyle here in Bismarck, but the weather, that's a whole different story. Now, Schaefer has been working all off-season long on becoming a more complete player, and it is shown on the court. But the one thing he will always be known for is his silky smooth jump shot.
Darius Sparks was a standout for the Saints in football and basketball, and he usually had a smile on his face. But that contagious smile wasn't always a genuine one.
Growing up, when I was either homeless or living in a shelter, I always had to keep a smile on my face to hide really what was really going on in my life. And I think that made me into almost like a leader.
Darius is certainly going places, but he does not forget where he came from. It hit home following a retreat to his former school where he saw kids with the same humble beginnings.
I had a rough childhood growing up. My mother was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and she struggled with that all my life that I lived with her. And I've been through so much, and I've been through sort of what those kids go through, so I feel for them so much more.
And that maturity hasn't gone unnoticed to the people closest to him now.
He is a very well-liked, very popular student from our student body, and that has a lot to say about his athletic ability, obviously, but also his growth as just a student here.
In here is where Darius refined his basketball skills. But sports alone doesn't define Darius. He also aspires to make a difference in the community.
One of my goals actually is I want to become a motivational speaker to not only young kids but young adults who go through personal struggles, no matter what that struggle is.
Motivation must come naturally because his teammates love going to battle with him.
Darius is great to play with because every point guard loves getting assists, and you pass to Darius and there's a good chance you're going to get that because he makes a lot of good shots.
He made a lot of shots indeed, over 1,000 career points worth. And on the football field, he loved to do one thing.
I wasn't the best offensive player because I wasn't like super fast, but defensively I loved hitting people.
That hitting helped lead the Saints to its first state championship since '94. But it was a moment on the hardwood that first came to mind when Darius reflected on his athletic career.
In overtime against Fargo-Shanley last year, my junior year, when we drew up the play Valpo, and the ball was tossed to me, and I was able to make the shot with 2 seconds left, to bring it into overtime. That was probably my most memorable moment in high school.
Darius will have more chances to make similar memories as he plans to play basketball in college. With the spotlight on Darius Sparks, for NBC North Dakota Sports, I'm Jason Dumas.
And Jason Dumas is back from the VFW Sports Center, and he joins us in the newsroom. Jason?
That's right, LT. Now, the Bobcats, they know their playoff fate in terms of seeding. There will be a 3 seed in next week's playoffs. But what they don't know is who they play. They'll figure that out at the end of the weekend. Tonight, they took on Austin, who is in first place. First period, no score. Bobcats on the power play. UND commit Zach Young fires the pass in front of the net, and Tyler Dunnigan takes care of the rest, and the Bobcats go up 1-0. Now, still in the first period, Austin works the puck around. Lucas Coles rips the shot, but Aaron Nelson comes up with the save. Some extracurriculars after the play. These two teams do not like each other. Now to the second period we go. Nelson with another great save, but off the rebound, Charlie Manley would score and tie the game at 1. And the Bruins, they go on to win 4-1, and they stay in first place. Now, LT, these two teams will play each other tomorrow and wrap up their season, and we will have highlights right here on the Night Report. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Jace. Live to Jason Dumas, who's out at the VFW Sports Center. Jason?
Thanks, LT. Now, I'm here with Bobcats head coach Lane Sedevy. Now, Lane, last weekend you guys went down to Aberdeen and won 2 games in very impressive fashion. But after the game, the main sentiment to your post-game speech was to keep your guys even-keeled. How do you think they've dealt with that in the week leading up to this game tonight?
I think they've done a good job. And
Midnight Madness is a celebration of the tip-off to the college basketball season. It goes on at colleges across the country, and it is no different here at University of Mary. Now, I'm here with men's head coach Jevin Buddy. Now, Jevin, tell me what you guys are doing tonight to get the fans involved and celebrate the tip-off of the season. While I was at an early season Saints game, a random spectator told me they'd be the best show in town all season long. Well, that buzz got around to the Century campus, so when the two teams faced each other on January 20th, the Patriots had something to prove. The matchup resulted in what would be the best game of the season thus far. Tonight, the two heavyweights faced off again.
After losing 12 of its last 15 games and seeing one of its best players break his fibula, the Bobcats literally limped to the finish line. The late season slide meant the Bobcats would have to load the bus and open up the playoffs on the road. And when they arrived in Aberdeen, South Dakota, the preparation began.
I don't really like to think about it too much. I just try to do my own thing and just keep calm so I'm not nervous before the game.
And as for the aforementioned hobbled star, he wasn't going to let a banged up foot stop him from joining his teammates on their playoff journey.
I still feel like I'm a big part of this team, even though I can't contribute on the ice, and I'm going to go wherever these guys go, for sure.
Now, when the Bobcats drew the Aberdeen Wings in the opening round of the playoffs, they knew they were in for a slugfest. Bismarck went 4-8 against Aberdeen during the regular season. But the most challenging part about the Wings might be their hostile crowd.
They definitely don't like us when we're here. Very hostile. Sometimes our coaches will get into it with fans. You never know what's going to go on here.
Number 21,
But then the game started, and the hostile crowd was offset by inspired play by the Bobcats.
How did that play shape up?
He's just kind of walked out of the corner and then found a little room and put it far side under the bar.
Yeah! It's a long drive, but boy, is it worth it.
And it left the loyal Bobcats fans who made the trip very happy.
They spend so much time playing sled hockey with us. A lot of the times they take extra minutes to take a phone call, or they say hi, or when they see you out in the community, so it's just a blessing.
This is my favorite time of year because now every game means something. We got everything to lose and everything to gain.
And after 2 days, the Bobcats gained a 2-0 series lead.
I think the guys in that room, they believe, in our ability. I think we're a really good hockey team, and when we play that hard and we work hard and we play for 60 minutes, good things are going to happen.
And here's to that trend continuing in Bismarck.
You guys got to believe in this room. We can do it. We know we can. Let's get the job done in our building on Friday night. Thanks.
With the spotlight on the Bismarck Bobcats, for NBC North Dakota Sports, I'm Jason Dumas.
Welcome back, everyone. The eastern part of the state has completely dominated high school hockey here in North Dakota. Well, that all changed last night when Bismarck High School took down Grand Forks Central in the state championship. It was the first time a team from the West won since Minot did so in 1992. It is also the first time a boys state hockey title has ever come to the capital city. Let's take a look back at last night's historic victory. Coach Mike Peluso came up a game short of winning a state title during his playing days at BHS. Early on, no score, Demons captain Jared Spooner gets things going with the beautiful wrister for the goal. Spooner had 7 points in the state tournament. He was crowned MVP. Second period now, a scrum out in front of the net. Cole Kirchhoffner gains control and beats Brett Malkmus for the goal, and we are all tied up at 1 in Grand Forks. Now we go to the third period, same score. Off the face-off, Spooner on the rush. He finds his boy, Trey Kautzman, for the one-timer. And the Demons, they go on to win their first ever state championship 2-1. Now, that was not the only hockey news in North Dakota this weekend. Williston State has repeated as junior college national champions. They beat Monroe Community College today 2-0 in Erie, Pennsylvania. So congrats to both Williston State and Bismarck High for their respective championships. Now, switching gear to basketball. The Marauders men's and women's basketball teams both wrapped up its season yesterday in Moorhead. All postseason matchups are now set in stone, but before we get to them, let's revisit last night's games against MSU. We start with the men who have struggled to find consistency this season. Second half, Marauders down 6 when Chris Mason buries the tray to keep the game tight. He had a game and season high 29 points. Now, more from the Marauders. Brian Jefferson gets the offensive board and put back, and it's a 2-point game. Now it's Moorhead's Tyler Vaughn hitting the tray and drawing the foul. The Dragons go up 6 after the freebie. Late in the game, Marsmus and Guy with the tough move and bucket. He had 17 on the night, but the Dragons would never trail in this one. Isaac Savell hits the mid-range as the Dragons hang on in overtime. 95-94. Now let's check out the women. They had already locked up a home playoff game last week. And let's go to the score. Dragons trailing by 9 early, but Megan Street gets open at the foul line. She knocks down the jumper. Later on, Brittany Dietz saves a wild pass and turns it into 3 points. The sophomore finished with 12 points at the game, and she's been steady as they come this year. Dragons now down 13, and Lee Miller gets into paint and scores to dig in that Marauders lead, but it would not be enough here. Danny Clark hits the running hook as Mary wins convincingly, 78-62. Lindsay Sand had 17 and 8 to lead the Marauders. Now let's take a look at the playoff matchups for both the men and the women. The women host Winona State on Wednesday at 7 at the MAC. The Marauders beat Winona State in overtime earlier in the year on January 10th, 65-62. Now the men, they have to go on the road on Wednesday. They take on Southwest Minnesota State, but UMary knows how to win in Marshall, Minnesota. They got to win there against the Mustangs on Valentine's Day. And as always, we will have full Marauders playoff coverage right here on NBC North Dakota News. And the Daytona 500 was today. Here are your leaders in Daytona. We are currently actually in a rain delay, but Kyle Busch paces the field. Coming up next is Casey Kane, followed by Denny Hamlin, Brian Vickers, and Paul Menard. We will have the final results on the night report. But Mark, back to the top story, the Bismarck High hockey team. They win states. I've covered the team all year. You know, they're just a fun group of kids, so really happy for them that they can bring back a title to the capital city.
Absolutely. Congrats, you guys. We'll be right back after the break. Stay with us.